I can't see without my glasses, so there's a glare. Again, something we need to figure out. Dads, it's okay to be a man, to act like a man, to feel like a man. In fact, it's important to embrace your testosterone and be a freaking man. And men, what makes a good dad? Provide for your family. Make sure they have a roof over their head, food in their bellies. Not all men are rich, but all men must provide for their families the necessities of life. All men must provide the basics of living and provide a stable home and a stable family. That is your calling. That is your responsibility. Provide education and provide unconditional love. Provide discipline and consequences. Provide for your family. Make sure your family is living a lifestyle that keeps evil out of your family tree. Away from drugs, crime, illegal activity, idleness, laziness. It helps to be physically able to fend off a bad guy, or at least look the part so you're not a target. Protect your family. That is your job. Be a role model. Be the example in your home. Don't just talk about hard work, show them hard work. Don't just talk about faith, show them faith. Be the man you want them to grow up to be or to marry. Talk the talk and walk the walk. Show them how to treat your spouse. Show them how to be a leader and yet a servant. Show them how to stand up for what is right. Show them how to fight when there's something to fight for. Show your kids, hell, show yourself what kind of man, what kind of dad you can really be. Help them become better than you. Live and teach your values, your morals. It's okay to be the alpha. It's okay to lead. It's okay to be a man. But it's just as important to know what it means to be number one. When you are number one, the alpha of your family, that means you are not number one because you put everyone else ahead of you. As a leader, you put your wife's needs ahead of your own. You put your kids' needs ahead of your own. You must consider your wife and consider your kids in your daily and long-term decision-making. Buying a boat you can't afford and spending your weekends fishing instead of with your family is selfish. And that's not what a leader and a role model does. Spending your hours after work with your buddies drinking instead of with your family is not what a real man does. Buying things you can't afford to impress people who don't give a crap about what you have is not what a good dad does. Find ways to spend time with your family because that is what a real man, a real dad does. Finding ways to spend time away from your family makes you a candy-ass jabroni. You smell what I'm cooking? I love The Rock. Let me explain how I rank the top 3 things in my life. God, wife, kids. God is number 1. My God who created me and loves me is more important than my wife and kids. He is number 1. Luckily, my God doesn't ever try and divide me and my wife or my kids, so there's no real power struggle there. But my wife ranks higher than my kids, absolutely 100%. Which maybe some of you think is weird because this is all about being a dad, but you can't be a good dad if you're not a good husband. You've got to show your kids how to treat their future spouse, how to honor and love your wife, their mom. And whatever you do, and trust me, they will try. Never, ever, ever let those little devils divide you and your wife. They will respect you, and they will respect mom, or someone's getting a butt whooping. But no kid is going to play mom and dad against each other and get away scot-free. We shut that down real early and real quick. If mom says no, don't you dare run to dad and ask. Mom and dad are a team, a united front. And that's the only way to vanquish the enemy, which many times will be your own child. How does a real man be a good dad? Country boy or city slicker, Republican or Democrat, boots or loafers, beard or clean shaven, or some handsome way in between. You just have to want to be a good dad. It's that simple. You just have to want to be a good dad. If you want to be a good dad, then you will be there for your kids. You will do the things you need to do to provide, protect, and raise them well. You will spend time with them and want to be there. Being a good dad isn't hard. You just have to give a crap. And time is probably the most important of all the things. Spend time with your family and your kids. If I was forced, and just listen, it's all inclusive here, but if I was forced to pick one thing that is the most important, I'd pick time. What if you work a lot? There's nothing wrong with working hard or even working a lot. But in your off time, spend as much time with your family as possible. If you work a lot, going out with your pals is really out of the question. Downtime is with your family. Long vacations would be a big bonus. I think this is all my opinion, but if dad is working a lot, then there needs to be a strong mom at home. If there is no mom, or mom just can't handle that heavy burden and heavy load of running the family alone, then dad should really sacrifice the workload and be home more. I work a ton. It's up and down for me. So sometimes I work like crazy and I barely see my kids for a month or two at a time. I'm up before they wake up and I'm home after they go to bed. But I have a wife that can handle that. Now, she can't do it for too long, but she can handle the heavy times. Now, I have the added benefit of having light workloads other times. A couple years ago, I had like a 1.5-year stretch where I was able to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner with my family almost every single day. So it comes and goes for us. But our family, it's less of a necessity nowadays and more about the fact that I'm just wired to enjoy working like that. If working hard means putting food on the table and barely getting by, then by all means, work as hard as you need to. But I would suggest finding a better way to make a living. That way it's not your lifestyle, it's just a season in your life. For the dad that travels a lot, traveling dads have it better in 2019 than any other year. There's so much free and easy to use technology. You can remain super involved with your family even from afar. And now I still think if you're not physically there frequently, then when you are home, it's super important to spend that time with your family and not escaping your family. Personally, I hate traveling without my family. It just doesn't make me happy, so I choose not to do it. And I've strongly considered buying my family one of those monster RVs to travel with me in the event I start traveling for work, which may be a real possibility soon. And traveling dads, we need to get real here. You need to make sure you are super disciplined, ultra disciplined in your values and morals. Life on the road offers a lot of temptation, and you're going to have to confront that head on and not even get close to towing that line. I realize divorce is a large piece of today's world. I wish it wasn't. And I come from a divorced mom and dad. Heck, I even got to watch a second divorce when I was a teenager. I truly dislike divorce. I don't like what it does to the kids stuck in the middle of it, amicable or not. Now, I am the product of one, and I turned out fine. I have my scars, and for the most part, I'd like to think they made me stronger, but I wouldn't want to put that on my kid either way. I don't ever want to see my marriage end. There are hard times, and we've had a couple really rough spells. But I would rather see a dad be a man and honor his words, keep his word, treat his wife right, in sickness and in health, in good times and in bad, despite the temptation of something different and seemingly better luring you away. I want to see mom and dad survive the tough times and come out stronger, show real commitment, show unending love, even when it seems impossible. If you're still married and having a rough go, literally do whatever it takes to make it work. Go to counseling. Go to counseling. You get to air out your problems in a form that will control the outbursts in anger. That's step one. Don't separate. That is not going to help. Spend more time with each other. Spend money on more dates and hire some babysitters and go on vacation. And don't tell me there's no money for that. You were going to blow your money on an attorney, so you might as well blow it on something that might actually work. Listen, you two loved each other at one time. You guys had the hots for each other. All you got to do is get that going again. If you're already divorced and there is no chance of getting back together, you've got to work overtime. Your time is already cut in half, if not more. Your influence is cut in half, if not more. It's easy for a divorced dad to take a back seat, to get pushed out of the picture by a mad mom or a new stepdad. Even if it's a losing battle, fight for your kids. Show them you will do whatever it takes to be a part of their life. And if that's the only lesson you can teach them, show them unrelenting determination. Can a good dad be poor? Of course a good dad can be poor, and many are. Your worth as a dad has nothing to do with your net worth. If your kids know they are loved by dad and you are giving them your best, you're a good dad. Money just buys stuff and experiences. It provides more comfort. But kids don't care. Kids would rather have a poor dad that loves them than a rich dad that barely interacts with them. And I think the most failures in parenting come on like the really poor side and the really rich side, and that's not a study related thing, that's just my personal opinion. But I think the very rich need to be very aware that their kids have a very different experience from other kids. They can easily turn into entitled little turds, and it's hard for a kid to appreciate the nice things you can provide unless they can experience the things other kids call normal. They need to understand and live real humbleness. Now, not that fake humbleness where you throw up the hashtag. Very rich parents just have to realize that their kids have a much higher percentage of becoming complete jerks to people with less money and just becoming complete jerks overall. They can easily become bored with life. Every parent wants to give their kids the life they never had, but you need to give your kids what you did have too. A 16-year-old kid does not need a $50,000, $75,000 sports car on a 16th birthday. That's crazy. And you're going to be surprised in 6 months when he gets pulled over drag racing with cocaine in the car at 2 o'clock in the morning. First of all, what's a 16-year-old doing out 2 o'clock in the morning? What's he doing with a high-end sports car? I can tell you right now, if I had my way, when my boy turns 16, he's getting a 30-year-old dump truck. And it's going to be hilarious. Probably not actually going to happen, but I certainly wish it would. Let's put it this way. Do you think my kid's going to get pulled over at 2 o'clock in the morning drag racing in a 30-year-old dump truck? I mean, by the time he shifts through all 18 gears, it's going to be maxing out at 40 miles per hour. Genius plan. Thanks for listening and thanks for watching. Comment below. I'm listening to those comments. Feel free to submit stories and thoughts to Townsend at townsendrussell.com. And of course, find us everywhere on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, podcasts, and our website. I'm Townsend Russell with the Dad Group and 100% Dad. We're preaching over here for dads to step up, be real men, and real leaders of their homes.